stream anytime, anywhere with the free PBS app.
Our next home that changed America is a bit different. It's not one house, it's a type of home that you'll find in many American cities, the tenement. The amenities did not include walk-in closets, Wi-Fi, or steam showers. The people who lived here were lucky to have windows, toilets, and electricity.
The tenement houses are brutal. If you think about what they are, they're just warehouses for people. That's all they are.
The tenement didn't take shape on an architect's drafting table. It was the result of a simple equation: too little space divided among too many people. American cities were swelling with new immigrants by the mid-19th century.
The Irish, the Germans, the Jews, the Poles, whoever is the newest group of poor people from Europe.
They packed neighborhoods like New York's Lower East Side, hemmed in by a river, industry, and pricier real estate. There was little room to build.
And the land started to be divided up into different parcels and lots that were typically 25 by 100 feet. The people who own these lots, of course, were looking to make money, which is New York, right?
Property owners converted every inch into rentable space. They built up 5 stories or more, and then divided each story into cramped apartments that might be 325 square feet. It's going to be pretty cramped, right?
It's going to be very cramped.
New York law defined a tenement as any building rented to 3 or more families. In reality, these tiny buildings could house more than 100 people.
In this apartment, there was a family of 8 living here.
In this apartment?
In this single apartment.
The tenement at 97 Orchard Street was fairly typical. These days, it's New York's Lower East Side Tenement Museum. It's been preserved to capture the struggles of the actual people who lived here.
So you had parents sleeping in a very, very small bedroom over there.
For about $10 a month, they got 3 rooms. And the bedroom wasn't the only place people slept.
No, the bedroom was the only thing called the bedroom, but basically every room was a bedroom. There's a cot in the kitchen that 2 teenage daughters shared. And this couch here was shared by 4 brothers.
So these 2 windows would have been the only direct light they were getting in the whole apartment?
Exactly.
Most walls don't have windows because they either butt up against other buildings or other apartments. Before electricity or gaslight, it was stuffy and dark. Some landlords tried a quick fix, cutting a window between the front room and the kitchen. This is the only way to get light and air into the kitchen and the bedroom.
Exactly. So this doesn't seem like much to us, but from the perspective of the housewife, to have that extra bit of light come into that kitchen is going to help her clean.
Sunlight was scarce, but water was an even more precious commodity.
All your water needs were going to be addressed outside. You know, imagine how many times you use water during the course of the day to brush your teeth, to make tea, to make coffee, to wash your dishes, to wash your clothes.
And there were no toilets in the building.
That's correct. Toilets were also outside.
This was the daily reality for more than 1 million New Yorkers living in tenements by the turn of the 20th century, and millions more across America. But a series of reforms would change everything. First, the state of New York forced landlords to add at least 1 outhouse for every 20 people, plus air shafts for those dark interior rooms.
The air shafts were so small that unless you were on the top floor, you really didn't get any extra light or air.
Real change would take the work of tenacious muckrakers like Jacob Riis.
Jacob Riis, a social reformer with a camera, uses photography to talk.
Riis knew the immigrant struggle firsthand. Homeless at times after arriving from Denmark, he found work as a journalist. A breakthrough in photography gave Riis the power to bring tenement conditions to light. Flash photography.
He doesn't have to write about it, though he does. The pictures tell all the thousands of words that they're supposed to. He reveals to the world just how horrible these places are. And the reaction is pretty swift.
The work of Riis and other reformers culminated in the groundbreaking Tenement House Act of 1901.
We really see a sea change at 97 Orchard. Because of that law, you have gas lighting.
Right here,
Exactly. You have interior bathrooms.
real toilets, not outhouses.
Not outhouses. The hallways were better lit.
Now that the residents of 97 Orchard could actually see the hallway, the landlord took the opportunity to spruce it up.
So the people who lived in this building, they also had a swankier hallway to walk through.
These reforms and others like them ensured Americans the basic living conditions we all take for granted, with fire escapes, indoor plumbing, and access to fresh air and daylight.
You know, it's a reminder that many of the things that we talk about in architecture are luxuries that only begin to matter when you've taken care of basic creature comforts.